Welcome to the CEOs. I'm Heidi Torres, and today I have a special guest for you. She is the most hardworking, kindest net friend I have. Please welcome Michelle Wilson. Welcome, Michelle.
Well, thank you so much, Heidi. It is my absolute pleasure to be here today.
I have to say, I'm so excited that you're on because when we met, you were actually one of the people that I was like, most unassuming person and just so kind and willing to share your connections. So before we jump all into that, because I'm really excited to, please share in your words who you are and what you do.
So I'm an entrepreneur in spirit. I'm a homemaker. I do a lot of different things and wear a lot of different hats. My most important business to me is I do residential and business services. So I'm a concierge of services. And that kind of encompasses a lot of different things, and there's a lot of moving parts in there. But my main focus is customer service. So I do energy, either gas or electricity in deregulated markets. I service all 50 states and 27 countries. I do TV, internet, and home phone, and bundle those three: satellite TV, wireless cell phone service. I do security and automation for home and business. I also do identity theft protection, merchant payment processing, and there might be another one in there that I'm overlooking, but it's been one of those days. And it's just one of the many businesses that I do, but I have a passion for helping people find money so that they can either reinvest it in their business or reinvest it in their life.
So I love that, because that was actually one of the things I recognize in you is your need to help others. And I want to, I don't even know how you got involved. How did you get all involved in all these different avenues of business and engage with your clients? I mean, how do you do this?
Well, part of it actually goes way back to when I was really little, because my mom and dad were very entrepreneurial in spirit. So my mom did all of those businesses you do from home when you want to stay home with your little kids. So she was an Avon, she did Melaleuca, she did all of those things back in the day. Amway was the big one. And then my dad would go in and save failing businesses. So it was really funny as a kid, and as I got older and had my own children, we would go to a restaurant. And by the time we left that restaurant, my dad would have talked to everyone in that restaurant, and they all would know my kids' names, and my kids would all know them. So it was just one of those things. He was so interactive with people that it just became second nature for me. And so anything that puts me in that space is kind of my passion. I love to talk to people. I love to connect people, because I think that adds so much more value to our life. And it also adds that colorful element, because everybody's just a little bit different and has something else to bring to the table. So I was introduced to the current opportunity that I'm business that I'm in by a friend of mine. Somebody I went to church with and knew that I did a lot of different things and was like, you need to take a look at this. And I was like, all right. And I did. And I just found a passion for what I do, because it was all about service. And that is such a huge thing for me, whether you're connecting someone or you're helping someone do something they never thought they could do. That's just huge in my life.
So because you've connected me to people, we've met through connections. How do you stay connected to your vast network?
You guys are going to laugh at me, because I am totally old school. I do pencil and paper. So all of my contacts are in a book, just like this, a notebook. And I have pages and pages of people that I need to know, or I have a reference, and I have a little key guide as to what they do, where they're located, who referred me. So I know where that contact comes from. So I get on the phone a lot of times and set up a meeting and do a one-on-one, because that's how we do business in most everything we do. We do business with people we know, like, and trust. And how do you build that trust? By getting to know somebody. And it's not about pitching my business, not ever. It's always about them. Because who do we know best, and who do we like to talk about best? But ourselves. So if we let people open up, you get a window into what they're looking for and in their lives. And that connection just becomes better. I'm also one who likes to send cards. I like to do things that aren't necessarily digital, because that's not my thing. So don't get me wrong, CRMs are a great thing. They just don't help me at all.
I'm kind of old school that way too. I mean, I have all the digital formats and stuff, but yeah, I do like the personal touch, right?
Absolutely.
So how do you I, I guess narrow down, because I know you're always on the go, right? You're on, you talk about digital, you're on a lot of virtual networking, and you're in person a lot of different times and stuff too. So how do you kind of marry those two for your scheduling? I mean, how do you do that?
That's a great question. And prior to all of the craziness that's going on in the world, it was very different. So prior to everything happening and everything being shut down, I would go to 60 live meetings a month.
Whew.
That's insane. Some days it was 3 to 5 meetings I would be going to. But what I've done, you had to adapt. So we almost had to pivot when everything happened and everybody went virtual. And I got involved with a couple networking organizations that meet virtually. One of them is where I met you on Monday nights at North Texas. I'm going to say it wrong. Service Professionals, I believe it is. And it's a great group of people that we have a learning component to it. We pass information. You get to know people, and it was just real unique. I got involved in another networking company, which in the last 6 months, the CEO made me VP of the company. So I have a passion for that too, because it's a connection. And we're in about 21 states right now, and we're in 4 different countries, and we're looking to go even further and hit all 50 states. But I think it's that fine balance, because my hardest thing moving to this platform was I'm a handshaker, I'm a hugger. You know, a lot of people laugh because I always say if I was a politician, I would totally be a baby kisser. But right now, the only baby I kiss is my new grandson. But it's about that connection, and wherever you're networking it, whether it be in person or whether it be online, it's just that you have to make that connection. And I think the balance between that is really, you guys are going to laugh, but this is, again, my paper and pencil life that I leave. And here's my calendars for the year. They're all here. I do it digitally to start off with, but I have to have spaces to add in. So I know where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing, but I always have a little bit of leeway in that space. It's just really a balance. It's really about making sure you're focusing on what's most important to you and finding the best fits for that, because not all networking groups are going to be your best fit. Not all networking groups aren't going to have the people you need to know. But I also know that a lot of times when we network, people don't network right. People network like a noun. They call themselves networkers, but they don't do what networking really is. And that's a verb. It's an action. It's a collaboration. It's a give. It's a take. It's a get to know each other. And there are some organizations that do that really super well, and other ones that don't do that at all. And so you really need to find what's going to work best for you, because even in a networking environment, it's not about leading with the most business cards. Never is. It's about making those 1, 2, 3 fabulous connections, because the most important thing about that connection is not that person you're connecting with, but the hundreds of people that they know. And people forget that. So when you go to networking events, know who you're looking for, know who you're asking to meet, because that's more valuable. If somebody tells me I want to meet somebody with skin, that definitely doesn't ring a bell in my phone for me to give you a contact. I need a little bit more narrow specific so I know who to give you as a contact.
I kind of like that. And I was talking with someone earlier about the faux pas of networking. So besides, I guess, the sharing being too broad, right? What other things that people should not do when it comes to networking?
I find that the basic question that everybody asks is, what do you do? And if you start with a different question besides what do you do, for instance, if you just go up to somebody, introduce yourself and say, hey, what was your big win for the day? again, you're in that space where they're talking about them, which is their most comfortable space to be in. And you've opened a door that somebody who says, what do you do, will not open. I think the other thing that is important in that space too is when we connect with people, make an appointment before you leave that space if you can. Schedule your one-on-one, schedule that time to follow up with them. Because a lot of times if you hand out a business card, they'll go, oh, well, I'll call you. Well, a lot of times that doesn't happen, and you've just lost what could be a great connection if you didn't schedule a time to meet with them.
Yeah. Intentionally setting up the time and space
Yes.
for it. Yes.
That adds value to that conversation. They've now moved from, hey, somebody I met at a networking event, to, hey, somebody who took an interest and really wants to get to know me. So you've upped your game over everybody else who was in the room.
I want to know, so can you share with me, how can the audience connect with you?
There's a few different ways. The first one is on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, and it's linkedin.com/IN/2MS Wilson.
Okay.
So keeping it kind of simple. So I'm on there. The other way is I will also give you to add to this my website, also my email and my phone number. So anybody can connect to me that way for sure.
Awesome. And because you are, and I want to say really fancy, because you're the concierge of services, what is your ideal client or customer?
I have a couple different ones because there's a few facets to my business. So really a great contact as a referral source for me is anybody who touches real estate. So you're looking at real estate, residential and commercial, mortgage brokers, property management companies, property investment companies, title companies, anybody that's in that space is a great connect for me. Even leasing agents at apartment complexes are great connects for me. Industries, that's a little bit different. I can look at people who do real estate. I can look at small business owners are great connects to me. Anybody who's opening a brand new business in a brick and mortar store, we supply a lot of different things that can help them facilitate what they need to do to get things up and running for them. Restaurant owners, I have a great client who's in the CBD store space. I do a lot of stuff for them just to make it easier for them to transition as they open stores. And then anybody really, because I can do a 5 to 10 minute bill audit for anybody who's looking to save a little bit of money on their home or business bills.
And I'm just sitting there like, because you did all this fantastic connections, you're great with follow-up. What can you share with, and because you have the entrepreneurial spirit, for those who are starting to get into their own business, what would you say, maybe share a couple of tips that they could use?
I'll share a couple that have worked well for me. And over the last year or so, I actually sat down and talked to a couple different coaches, talked to a few people that specialize in small business and growth and development. And I think the biggest thing for entrepreneurs is we always have to be working on our mindset, because someone's going to tell you no, someone's going to tell you you're not going to succeed, someone's going to tell you something bad. And if you let that get in your head and grow, you're going to believe those things, and they're just not true. You always want to be feeding yourself with good material that allows you to get in the right mindset for success. Surround yourself with people that are either more successful or as successful as you. The first thing you want to do is get all of those negative Nancy's out of your way, because they're just going to drag you down. The other thing that I think that is super important in that space is kind of have a plan of where you want to go, what you want to do and what you want to accomplish. The biggest thing for me is do it in bites. So the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So make things that can be scalable. So have your, weekly goal, monthly goal, break it down so that you are actually getting wins in your business. Because if you get a win, that's going to make you want to run to the next win. And if you get something that gets in your way, a pothole in the road, so to speak, you find a way to bridge over it or go around it without slowing yourself down, because they're always going to happen. Something's always going to pop up in your way. And as long as you're in the right mindset and keep moving forward, you're successful.
Anything new coming up in your world that you want to share?
Let's see. The newest thing for me is I have a 3-week-old new grandson who lives with us. So that's very exciting for me. So he's a little hands-on. Last night he was up till about 5 in the morning. So grandma took over for a while. But that's kind of the newest thing right now. I'm always looking, I'm always growing. I make great partnerships with people, and I just love to connect people in any way that I possibly can, because that's where the power of connection comes.
I think you're amazing. You are a truly impactful connector. And I think it's so heartwarming to hear how you learned from your parents from that. And it kind of really sets the example. I know we kind of talked about, well, off camera, we kind of talked about how my husband and I do not like me when we go shopping together, because I will talk to everyone, like the cashier and the bagger, right? And he's just like, can we just get through this?
That was totally my kids. They're like, we don't want to go to the grocery store with you. They're like, and if we ever get lost, all we have to do is wait 1 second, because you're going to laugh at somebody. They're like, I've never met anybody that stands in a line and will leave that grocery line with a new best friend. And I'm like, it just happens.
I love that. Thank you, Michelle. You're awesome. I appreciate the time that you share, the energy that you bring, and it's been great having you on the CEOs. Thank you so much.
Oh, you are very welcome, Heidi. I am blessed to be here, and thank you so much, because what you do is absolutely amazing, and your book is fantastic.